All right, some big sports news. Another Dallas Cowboys headed to Canton. That's the good news. Cliff Harris joins Jimmy Johnson in the Pro Football Hall of Fame Centennial class. Joe Trahan joining me now. Joe, man, a big day for one Cowboy, but not so good for another man. And this was really sad today.
Yeah, this should have been an incredible day, Tashara, for all of Cowboys Nations and for a couple of legends. But the Hall of Fame has a problem. We'll get to that in a moment. But first, let's celebrate. Cliff Harris becomes part of the NFL Centennial class that also includes former Cowboys head coach Jimmy Johnson. Harris, undrafted out of tiny Ouachita Baptist in Arkansas, joins his rightful place among the NFL's elite.
My gosh, I don't know what to say. That's just unbelievable. Just unbelievable. I'm so grateful.
What a moment and what a career. Harris had been the only defensive starter on the 1970s All-Decade team not already in Canton. He also had an awesome nickname, Captain Crash, always willing to give up his body to make a tackle. He was so good in the postseason, making those crucial interceptions. Cliff Harris, the 19th Cowboy, elected to the Hall of Fame.
It went to 5 Super Bowls, so just incredible. It's been a great life, and I'm so thankful for the NFL Hall of Fame. It's such an honor to be in with guys that I've looked up to for such a long time.
Congrats to Cliff, just a wonderful player and an even better man. And now to the Hall of Fame's perplexing problem. Look, I get it. There are NFL fans feeling snubbed all across the country today, but none of those other players that got snubbed on this day can make a case like Drew Pearson. The NFL names an all-decade team every 10 years. It's an incredibly select group. And get this, in the modern era, that's since 1960, every single first-team player on an all-decade team is in the Hall of Fame, except for one player now, all but one, Drew Pearson. So his reaction to this glaring omission is completely understandable.
They broke my heart. They broke my heart. And they did it like this. They strung it out like this.
I hear you, Drew, and I've got more ammunition. There are 18 first-team all-decade receivers in history. 17 of them are in the Hall of Fame, all except Drew Pearson. And this is not a small market player from a team that maybe didn't have success on the game's highest levels. Pearson, also known as Mr. Clutch, went to a couple of Super Bowls, winning one of them. I don't get it, but I do get why Drew doesn't get it.
I'm not giving up on the Hall, but they ain't gonna get me like this again. They know what Grandpop did. My kids know what I've done. And they know how much I wanted this. And they see the disappointment. But they also got to understand that even that's happens like that, doesn't happen the way you want it, you still got to keep going on.
It's heartbreaking. And listen, I respect so many of the people in charge of naming this team. And I realize it's nearly an impossible task, but this special centennial class was created to right the wrongs that players like Pearson have suffered through for years. And if 15 members weren't enough, they should have made it 20 in 2020. How hard is that? Furthermore, and this could have been just logistics, but get this. Former Eagles receiver Harold Carmichael was not only elected to the Hall of Fame, but he was on the set for the NFL Network in the show that revealed all the new members. Carmichael was the second-team wide receiver on the 1970s All-Decade team, behind guess who? Drew Pearson. Intended or not, talk about salt in the wound. And more evidence that the Pro Football Hall of Fame has a Drew Pearson problem. Tashara, I could literally go on all day about this.
Yeah, and you told me you're not usually the person to, get so passionate about something like this. But, man, I can feel it, when I hear you talk and I saw that sound from listening to Drew. And, man, that is heartbreaking. That's unfortunate. It
just makes no sense, right? And there's a big question about if this was the last chance for Drew to get in. That's the only silver lining in this. He does have more chances. This was his best chance, though, Tashara. And now he'll be lumped in with the rest of the veterans. And they only, put in a limited number more of those. But you know, it's also political.
Yeah.
And hopefully if we keep banging this drum for justice for Drew,
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I don't want to go off the rails about it. It's just
No, it's
football.
all good.
It's just football, but get it right. There are too many talented and smart people involved in this process to make this mistake again. Get it right, Hall of Fame. Get it right.
Justice for Drew. Maybe we can start that hashtag for
That's
real.
it.
Get it trending and make it happen. All right, Joe Trahan here. Thank you. I appreciate that.